This meeting of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. We have a special guest today, George McCoopwood, Commissioner's son, an Ole Miss young man. I'm glad to have you with us today. Robert, would you open the meeting with prayer for us? Robert Cook.
Father God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for all the many blessings that you bestowed upon us. We pray now the Lord that you will be with us from these proceedings. I ask that you open our hearts and minds and the prayer team discussions will come before us and use the sermon and make decisions that will be the best interest of the resources that you are providing to us and the people that those resources is provided for. Bless us and vision that collectively continue to bless this country, this state, this agency, your glory, all things. It's done, Father, in your name.
Amen. We need to approve the minutes. If everyone has an opportunity to look at them, I'll entertain a motion. Mr. Chair, I move we approve the minutes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Today's agenda, Dr. Hollis, is there any changes on the agenda? No changes. Need a motion to approve it? So moved. Second? I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Public comment. Brad Bob, Alligator Hunters Association. Welcome.
Gentlemen, my name is Brad Ball, and I'm from Bolivar County. I've been a resident of Mississippi for the last 18 years, and I'm here today to speak to you about the Mississippi Alligator Program. I've participated in alligator hunting here in Mississippi since 2006. I've been an active member of several different online forums, including the former forum that was sponsored by the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. About 7 years ago, we started the Mississippi Alligator Hunters Facebook page, and I am the co-administrator of this page. And we currently have 1,035 members who are actually active alligator hunters in the state of Mississippi, and I stand here today representing this group. Having participated in the annual alligator hunt for the last 11 years, I've seen many positive changes not only for the alligator hunting and alligator hunters, but also for the American alligators here in the state of Mississippi, the environment where the alligators live, as well as the economy for the state of Mississippi. I would like to share a few of my observations with you. Public permits have increased from 50 in 2005 to 920 since 2014. Public hunting areas have increased from only one side of the Pearl River to an entire statewide hunt. I can remember nights in the Pearl River that looked like the Las Vegas Strip due to all the lights and boats that were on the river. And now we have vast areas within each zone of the state which we can give hunters plenty of room to spread out without constantly running into each other. Hunter interest has increased from only 719 applicants in 2005 to over 6,000 applicants in 2016. The season length, the season dates, and legal hunting times have grown as well. I can remember days starting at 6 p.m. and having to quit at midnight. I can remember years of only one night of hunting, where you had one night no matter what the conditions were to hunt alligators. In 2008, I got to spend an entire night on the water during Hurricane Ike. And it never stopped raining, because that was our one night to hunt. I've driven all the way to the coast to hunt in the first weekend in October during a cold front, but that was our one night to hunt. But now we have a 10-day season covering 2 weekends. You can hunt any time of day during that 10-day period. Private land hunting was added in 2007 with 3 counties open, and this has been expanded to 31 counties in 2016. We've gone from a mandatory check-in and a mandatory check-out each night, including a mandatory checking of every alligator harvested, to now we have an online self-reporting process. As for the alligators, we've seen the size and health of the alligators improve as the population has been brought back into control on areas such as the Pearl River, thanks to the harvesting of alligators by alligator hunters. We've seen the size of the alligators that have been harvested increasing each year, with the state records being broken multiple times each year. As for the economy, there's a significant amount of money spent each year on alligator hunting in this state. The fees alone have increased revenue for the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks significantly. This year, 920 permits were sold in 45 minutes, which brought in $161,000. An additional estimated $100,000 will be added in the next month with sales of alligator licenses. Equipment, boats, fuel, hotels, food, taxidermy, ice, and more ice. All these things contribute to the state's overall economy. One of the most significant benefits of alligator hunting is literally giving thousands of people the opportunity to enjoy the sport and the outdoors. Unlike other outdoor activities, alligator hunting is not something that you do alone. It is a team activity. Over the last 4 years, the average team size has been approximately 4 members. In 2015, 3,646 people participated in alligator hunting. They spent 21,907 hours hunting by those teams. Although no statistics are available, I can assure you that the participation of women and children in alligator hunting has significantly increased over the years. There are literally hundreds of women on our Facebook page that actively participate in alligator hunting, many of which have told me that it was the first time they'd ever participated in the outdoors with their families. And nothing is better than seeing the eyes of a child when he or she gets their hands on their first alligator. Last year, I was fortunate enough to have a permit in my name for only the second time. And I personally took 12 different people alligator hunting during the 10-day season. This is a usual occurrence with alligator hunting. The majority of individuals hunting do not have a permit in their name. This year, we know that there was great interest in alligator hunting as over 6,000 people attempted to purchase one of the 920 permits that sold out in about 45 minutes. In the 12 years that alligator hunting has been available to the outdoorsmen of this state, we've seen nothing but progress. Every year, there are improvements to the program. As for the permitting process, there is no easy, simple, or correct answer. With many thousands of hunters desiring a limited number of permits, the overwhelming majority are not going to be successful at obtaining a permit. However, as has been shown by the statistics, most of those interested in alligator hunting will get to go hunting on a team if they do not have a permit in their name. We've had a lottery system, a preference point system, a first-come, first-served system. Each system has been improvement over the next, and I'm confident that the program director and the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks will continue to improve the access to the available permits in a fair and unbiased manner. The most significant improvement in this process of obtaining an alligator permit is the convenience of online applications and purchasing, regardless of the process which is chosen to issue these permits. The old process of purchasing and submitting applications with Walmart or other sporting goods store clerks to get into the alligator drawing left the hunter feeling out of control of the process. A hunter was never sure if he was in the drawing or if he was in the preferred zone or not. Online applications and purchasing gives the hunter personal control and responsibility for his application so that he may ensure that his information and that his choice has been made correctly. I commend the Wildlife Commission on following the recommendations of the alligator program director since its inception of the program. It has been his guidance and direction that have led to the success of the alligator program here in Mississippi. Several other states, such as Alabama and Arkansas, have patterned their alligator program after the one that we have in Mississippi, which is a reflection on our program's success. In short, the alligator hunters of the state of Mississippi are very happy with the progress of the alligator program. We're thankful for the opportunity we have to enjoy one of the greatest hunts that is available in this state. We know that the success of the program is due to the hard work of Ricky Flint and the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. We will continue to support this program and we look forward to continued opportunities to participate in the hunts which are made available to us. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your comment.
Hey, Brad. Yes, sir. Before you leave, did anybody told you about what the plans for the new process?
No, they have not.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be significantly better. Everybody that's interested is gonna get their name in the book.
Well, that'll be great.
Everybody, they won't get cut off or whatever. It's gonna be great improvement.
Good. We've improved every year, and I expect nothing but further improvements.
We agree with you. It has been a real successful program, and we're real proud of it. Thank you for your time.
You bet. Thank y'all.
License sales, Jason.
Mr. Chairman, Commission. The commission report for July is the first commission report that shows numbers with a new license fee increase. The revenue is 14% or 4% higher than last July. We did, however, sell more licenses in July of last year. Some of that due to customers purchasing before June, before the license increase in July, on July the 1st. Revenue from resident license sales are up over $34,000, which is an 11% increase from last year. Sportsman's license is up $25,000, and small game license is up $10,000. Non-resident license sales are up over 6%, and total licenses sold are up 3%. Freshwater trip license sales are up. The 3-day license is up 18%, and the 1-day license is up 8%. The permit category is down 14% compared to July of last year, and lifetime license sales are up for the month of July, 33% versus last year.
Any questions for Jason? Looks like we start the year off okay. Move forward. Thank you, sir.
It still amazes me is the Louisiana influence. Big time.
Charles Knight from Museum report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Commissioners and Dr. Polis. I'm here today to present for your consideration the proposed intent to change 40 Mississippi Administrative Code Part 5, Rules 2.2 and 2.3. Since both of these changes are related to alligator snapping turtles, I thought I would present them together, if that's okay. To give you a little background, in Mississippi we have two different types of snapping turtles. The common snapping turtle is the smaller one that grows about a foot and a half. And that's not the one we're talking about. That's abundant, common around the state. The other kind is the alligator snapping turtle, and that's the one that gets big, longer than 3 feet, with the big ridges and valleys on the top. The alligator snapping turtles are declining nationally throughout their range, and have even been petitioned for listing as endangered under the Endangered Species Act. Now, in Mississippi, we don't consider them a state endangered species, but we do consider them a species of greatest conservation need, so that they are in need of conservation. Based on this, our biologists have recommended changes to add measures to the conservation of alligator snapping turtles. And the first is Rule 2.2, and the changes there is simply to clarify that anyone that is propagating alligator snapping turtles for commercial purposes must possess a permit from our agency. The proposed revisions to 2.3 prohibit those with a permit from taking and transporting adult alligator snapping turtles from the wild or from catfish ponds where they often occur. Catfish farmers will, in the past, have called permit holders to take those alligator snapping turtles from those ponds and then take them back to their propagation facilities. These changes would require that those catfish farmers contact the conservation officer to remove an alligator snapping turtle that they want to remove to release in the wild. So essentially, these changes would allow the commercial propagation of alligator snapping turtles using the brood stock that they currently have, and prevent taking additional brood stock from the wild. Just as a little more information, we've contacted the current permit holders, and we see no opposition to that. They understand the need for the conservation and see this as a way to still maintain their business, but protect the resource.
How many of those folks are there?
There's very few. Last year we had under 5, and it's just very few. 3 now.
Any more questions?
What about who's gonna be affected by this? The catfish farmers, have you contacted the Association of Catfish Growers and told them what's gonna happen here?
We have not, and it's my understanding that they want the turtles out of their pond, so this is just another way to get them out, but it's gonna be law enforcement.
I mean, it's gonna put a deeper, tougher thing on them to do that. Just a question is, have you talked about it?
It's not really gonna affect them. In the new regulation, it will require that turtles out, when he gets called to go, because they salvage other turtles there that they can legally salvage. But when he gets called and there's an alligator snapping turtle, he has to contact the radio room and we'll send an officer to pick that up, release it in the nearest creek or stream.
Instead of them calling the propagator, they call law enforcement.
The catfish farmers are set?
Well, they can, most of the calls, we will get those from the propagator, because he's gonna know now he can't pick that turtle up and take it to his farm.
So when he gets the call, he knows, the catfish calling the same guy he's always called, just got somebody else getting the turtle out.
Right.
And this does not affect their, currently, with the hunting and fishing license, there is 1 individual turtle allowed per year for personal use, so it doesn't affect, most people that want to go out and catch them for food.
Any other questions? We need a motion for both.
I move to accept staff recommendation.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Thank you, Charles. Larry Pugh, Fisheries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have 2 items on the agenda for your consideration today. The first item are 4 rules, proposed rules, I'll say, regarding commercial fishing and the commercial harvest of paddlefish. I'd like to highlight a few of our proposed changes in each of the rules, and if possible, take a motion and second for all 4 rules if legal will accept that. On Rule 3.1 regarding commercial fishing, 2 of the biggest changes are to allow 3.5-inch gill nets to be fished in all interior waters of the state, lowered from 4 inches. You still will have to fish 3 inches in border waters of Louisiana, Alabama, and Tennessee, but we're in the process of trying to simplify some of our rules and feel like this is a good first step to lower that gill net mesh size. One of the other changes, proposed changes, is to close commercial harvest or commercial fishing on Lake Susie and the Yazoo National Wildlife Refuge because of fish consumption advisories that were issued by the Department of Health and the Department of Environmental Quality. Obviously, we would not like commercial fishing on those waters. And lastly, on 3.1, we're recommending to remove language that prohibited the use of gill nets and trammel nets in waters that are currently open to paddlefish harvest. In the past, we have allowed that. So we're recommending to remove it to make it easier on our traditional commercial fishing. For rules 3.2, 3.4, and 3.5, those are our paddlefish rules that I bring to you every year this time of the year. We really have just 2 basic changes. We're creating harvest management units instead of zones. And you'll notice in your briefing book, I created a map to give you an idea of what we're going to do with paddlefish now, paddlefish harvest. And I'm sorry. Basically, these HMUs will allow us to use a basin approach instead of an individual water body. It was requested by our commercial paddlefish harvesters, and we, after several meetings, we felt like this would be a good way to manage our commercial paddlefish fishery. I want you to know the zones will not be open concurrently, just like we have in the past. and the processors, and will have to tell us where they are fishing. So a big change, but nothing that's going to affect how the fishery works or potentially harm the resource. And then basically the only other change is we've had to change some dates from 2016 to 2017. So those are our 3 paddlefish regs, rules that we're proposing, and that's our recommendation.
Any questions for
I
Larry?
got a question.
Yes, sir.
On Lake Susie and the National Wildlife Refuge, the consumption advisory, what are they finding in the fish up there? Some type of chemical?
Mercury, I think, and DET, I would have to look at our digest commissioner. I looked at that before I came in here, but I think it was mercury and DET, and basically they said you shouldn't consume any fish from these water bodies.
That's you, just fine as we talk.
No, sir, it's actually, I think it's put in, do we know what year? Maybe last year, I don't know, Commissioner, but we certainly, if there's a fish consumption advisory, we want to close commercial fish. I can
You
find
think
out.
this is a proposal, so we've got 30 days.
Yes, sir, these are proposed, yes, sir.
You feel like we'll have, commercial fishermen will agree with all of this? You think we're gonna have some opposition?
I don't think we're gonna have any, we're helping the commercial fishermen, and we've had multiple
Well, it would be
meetings
going
with.
from 4 to 3.5.
Yeah, yes,
And there's
it's
still a limited
something they
number,
request, yes.
limited number of commercial fishermen out there.
Commercial fishermen, what, 600 or 700? 730. Yeah, 730 commercial licenses up statewide. Paddlefish harvesters, you're talking about 6 last year.
Yeah.
And we've met multiple times with them to get to where we're at today. Some of you know what we went through about it.
That's the group I was.
So that's the, this change was their request.
Okay.
And we countered with, we like the change, we still want the dates. We don't want the areas open concurrently. We want our enforcement officers to be able to know it's only open on the Mississippi River, or it's only open on the Yazoo interior waters, not concurrent.
I move that we accept the staff recommendation.
Second. All in favor? It passes unanimously. You've also got Eagle Lake program.
Yes, sir, that's my second item. We have been working with the Warren County Board of Supervisors and the Vicksburg Swimming Association since 2008 to allow them to host a gator bait triathlon on Eagle Lake. We bring this before the commission each year as a request to close and single landing. We've developed the MOU. The signators all signed it, and I would like the commission to allow us to close that boat ramp from 3 o'clock Friday to noon on Saturday. So they can use that area and that parking and that ramp to hold their gator bait triathlon.
What's the next closest ramp?
Well, there's 2 other public boat ramps on Eagle Lake, probably as the crow flies, half a mile maybe. So there are other opportunities for the public to launch. Very extremely popular event, as we've seen in the past.
Need a motion?
Second.
All in favor? That all, Larry? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Larry,
Thank
before
you.
you walk away,
Yes, sir.
are we finding much DDT and other rivers and streams on fish these days?
Obviously, Department of Environmental Quality has crews that go out and test those areas, those fish. Depending on the level, that's where those fish consumption advisories are listed, and usually it's a recommendation to not consume more than this amount in public water. And we list those in our outdoor diet.
After all these years, we still find DDT in some of these fish.
Particularly in the Delta, yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Chad Wallace.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I have one item for you today. It is a temporary and proposed rule for the Twin Oaks regulations to correct a typographic error that we found when we were printing our regs. Under the raccoon, possum, bobcat season, the opening day should be the 18th of December and not the 28th of December. And that is the only change. It was just a typo when we did these regulations before.
We will make the change.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Make our
from July 15th through August 12th, there's been a total of 277 citations written. The top 5 that's been listed there: no license, boat registration, trespassing, no voting certificate, and PFD violations. It has slowed down a little bit now, but we're now preparing for those. Customer counts still remain pretty high at Turcotte, 1365. I'm told the reason that it was down to 715 in McHenry is because about the last month it had done nothing but rain down. So you don't have a lot of people shooting in rain. Included, you'll see some pictures of our cadet class. They're in their second week. We got a fall skiing one. We had one fell ill to some fire ant bites, but she's okay. And we hope to get a good recruits out here.
How many females in it?
We got 2.
2 females.
What's the total?
15.
And they're at home now.
Yes. Last page there, we're working with wildlife now, banding ducks. I won't say at this site, I can say it's 40 something, 43 or so.
I wouldn't mind going up and seeing that. I've never killed a monkey duck. Maybe I can figure out a way to get one of the band on.
Why don't we just use the band?
Oh, that's great. That's what I think. Everybody I know that kill banded ducks for good.
They actually have a website that you can buy. It's called SouthernBand.com. SouthernBand. And when your buddy shoots a dog, remember that up and squeeze it on his leg. Cheek.
We got some folks for reinstatement.
Yes, I have 2. I'll bring them before you now. Clayton Allen Gerald, passed the bill. I'm going to let him tell us his story, and then I can give you my recommendation.
I'm Clayton Gerald. I was convicted of spotlighting on the 14th of August in 2014. Obviously, it was about getting my license reinstated. You know, hear a story? Well, my cousin picked me up one evening, and probably around 2-ish. Went for a ride. He'd been driving, so he'd been drinking, so I told him I'd drive. I drove his pickup. We just riding around. Made the Tanner Williams Road. I can't remember exactly what road it was we turned off. Just before dark, we noticed there's some deer in the field. Well, he's always helped, ever since I've known him, my first cousin, he's always carried a gun in his truck. I told him, he was like, I'm going to look at those deer. And I was like, don't pull the trigger. Whatever you do, don't shoot a deer. So he was looking at him. I heard him flip the safety off. His wife was with us, and she told him to live. And he flipped the safety off. I said, don't pull that trigger, Chris. He pulled the trigger. Well, the deer took off, and I told him, I said, you come get out right now, I'm even go look for that deer. What's the tall bar fence there? I said, I don't care. My father's taught me all the way growing up, it don't matter right or wrong, if you shot something, retreat. So I made him get out, it got dark on us. At this time, a gang warden came up on us, and I believe it was Keith Porter, and another guy, and got us for a violation. Even though my cousin comes to him and told him I didn't have anything to do with it, I was driving, and I told him I take full responsibility for being there. We were cited and believe he let us live.
Are you from Pascagoula? And this was in August?
Yes.
That's a little unusual for people to have like office.
Yes, sir.
We don't have to tell you, you know, it's against the law and you deserve whatever punishment you got. How much did it cost you?
I believe 2,100.
And you did this in 15, so you had money for 2 years, is that right? You learned your lesson?
Yes, sir.
We won't ever see you again?
No, sir. I want to let you know that I've never been I never violated ever. I've been fishing since I was 2, and hunting since I was 8.
What happened to your cousin?
When I let him out, we went down the road, we got out and threw the gun in the ditch. And they come back and get him, which I knew was illegal. I take full responsibility for that. And, it was truly his wife that did it, but I took responsibility for hiding the gun. And we come back, so she didn't get in trouble. And that's when Keith Carter was there and everybody.
Oh, Hancock, you have a recommendation?
Yes, sir, he has, retaken his hunter education, satisfied the court, time has passed, so I recommend it. We reinstate his license this time. I won't recommend it.
I move for staff recommendation.
I'll second. All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Next, I have Jonathan Massey.
It's been a calendar year since then. Me and a friend of mine were riding around on dirt roads, shining a few beam out the window. Didn't see no deer, didn't have a shoot gun, pulled onto County Road 5001, and truck got up behind him with the blue lights. It was game warden, Mr. Bill Fancher. Pulled us over, asked us if we had a gun in the truck, and I said, yes, sir. He says, it's loaded. I said, yes, sir. And he took us to jail for headlighting deer, went for unloaded road.
Did you know you weren't supposed to have a loaded gun?
Yes, sir.
Did you realize you were guilty?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. There was no fighting or arguing. He was correct, I was wrong. Now, just how it was.
Oh, I can't, Hancock, would you have any recommendation?
He also has retaken his hunter education, satisfied the court. Again, I recommend the commission approve reinstatement this time on.
I will tell you the worst thing about the losing the license wasn't me, and I got 2 children, my wife, she enjoys hunting. You know, the whole part of me not being able to hunt is bad enough, but not being able to take your kids and enjoy the outdoors as a family is a horrible thing.
I understand. I'm in the construction business, and we have a lot of employees that came from Ethel. Billy Clark passed away not long ago, and Billy Nate Watkins, a lot of people from that good community up there, a lot of good folks. So I appreciate what you said. I'll need a motion to reinstate his license.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do we have any other business, sir?
All the business.
Is there a need for executive session?
There's a need for executive.
Just to clarify our important minutes, the transactions, okay, so some personnel matters. Details, relocation of the business, that was it. Okay. We'll need a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make that motion. Second. All in favor?
Ladies and gentlemen, the commission has closed the meeting to determine the need for executive session.
Do you need a copy of the law enforcement?
Personnel matters involving jobs.